Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This video is going to be a new series. I did a series on blue label versus purple label books, and trying to give a sense of how much you should value your restored comics. Well, a lot of people asked me when I was doing that series, well, how much are green labels worth? And I'm going to do a series of videos on green labels. So this first video is going to be about this comic. Actually, I'm going to open it up so you can see it. So it's this one right here. I'm going to take it out of the bag. So green labels, the reason comics get a green label is, let me see if I can get the glare out, is several reasons. Usually it means that something is missing. Something has been removed from the comic, like a coupon or a page, or sometimes it has a signature on it. And like if it has like the comic, the writer's or the artist's signature on it, sometimes CGC will give it a green label. Because they can't verify that signature. So they consider it to be damaged in a way. And it's kind of a shame because, that signature, you might have gone to some convention to get that signature, and you think it's going to be worth a lot more, and then you get the hideous green label, and all of a sudden the comic is worth less. Now, usually if you have that happen, you should possibly not send it off to CGC, obviously, but you should get it verified by CBCS, which will actually recognize that it's the real signature and verify it for you, and you'll get the proper label that shows that it's a certified signature. So in this case, I'm going to show you this book. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with it. Okay, so this one has the coupon cut out. Okay, page 3 does not affect story. But how does that coupon affect the price of this comic? And that's the question that that's the $1 million question. How does this green label and that small edit to this comic affect its price? Now, this is a pretty major key, actually. This is the first cameo appearance of Galactus and the first appearance of the Silver Surfer. So pretty major comic. And it's one that I always thought was a great comic. And it's a shame that it is a green label. So let's kind of look at the math behind it. And I will kind of show you how to appraise this comic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the fair market value. So this is Go Collect. And you can see it's the first appearance of Silver Surfer, first appearance of Galactus Cameo. Now, Galactus made his first full appearance in 49. So if you're looking for that. You'll notice there was 25 sales, and they figure a 3.5, which is the grade that I have, is worth $925. Okay? So, and that's of this year, based on this year. Now, that tells you what the blue label value would be. Now, another thing you can look at is over here. It tells you how many of those, 3.5 graded comics are green labels or blue labels or signature labels. So you'll see the different colors here. So these are blue labels. There's 363 of them. There's 14 green labels and 53 signed copies. Okay? So that kind of gives you an understanding of how many of these comics are of the different classes. Now, obviously you want this blue label, but if you are like me, unfortunate to have the dreaded green label, you got to figure out how much is that worth. Well, typically what I do to figure out the value of a green label, if it's a page removed and it does not impact story, or if it's coupon removed, I usually take whatever this price is and divide it in half. Okay, so typically if it's worth $900, well, it should be worth around $475 based on this. Okay, and if you wanted to, you could actually submit this and get a blue label. The way you get a blue label is it will actually be graded as a 0.5. Okay, so a 0.5 is, you'll notice it's 450. So actually what I was suggesting when I said half, well, that's really almost what it's worth. It's worth about half based on just using what CGC would have done. So CGC will give you a blue label, but they'll mark it as incomplete, which is a 0.5, and you will get that dreaded 0.5 grade, which can be really unfair because the comic can look brilliant, but just is incomplete. So therefore it gets that it's worth $450 instead of worth $925. So another way to figure out the price, so this is kind of a couple of quick ways. If you submit it for the blue label, you'll get the 0.5 and it'll be worth $450. If you leave it as a green label, usually as I said, I use a ballpark of half whatever the green label, blue label would be, and you get $475. So you make an extra $25. But another way to figure out what that price is to look at what other green labels sold for. And that I use a different tool. I use GPA analysis. Okay. So if you go into that, you can see what other people have paid for green labels. So we'll stick with the grade that I have, but we can look at higher grades as well. But I'm just going to look at the grade that I have just because it's the easiest for comparison. So back in 2002, one sold for $50, but that's almost 20 years. A lot has changed since then. Okay. Now, if you look at this one, this is probably my sale, actually. This is probably through eBay, and this was probably me that actually bought this. So this, you can see how much I paid for it. I paid $350 for my copy. And people have paid as much as $475. So really, this kind of shows what I was saying. It's if you take whatever the fair market value is for the blue label and you divide that in half, then you will get what the fair market value is for the green label for this type of incomplete. Now there's other types of incomplete, so we got to realize that this is just for the coupon being removed. And you'll see that it's on average goes for $475. I was fortunate, I got it for $350, I should say. So I got a bit of a deal. And you can get deals with green labels. So, if the cover's nice and it's just a coupon being removed, you got to make that decision. How much is that coupon worth to you? How much is having a complete book worth to you? And, for me, I was fine with it having the coupon removed because it's slabbed anyways. You can't see that. You can't see that coupon anyways. So that was kind of my justification for it. I'm not saying that's necessarily the best thing, but I'd like to hear your feedback. What do you think about green labels? Now I'm going to be doing 4 more videos on this topic, actually 3 more videos on this topic. So you can see like other situations with the green label. It's one of those things that's really subjective, what you prefer. And to me, I look at this book, it's a great book to have, and it just made it so much more affordable. Paying $350 for something that can go for $800-900, not such a bad deal. So this has been my quick explanation of green labels and how to kind of get a sense of how much they're worth. But there's a lot more to it because green labels are actually more complicated than purple labels. There's just so much more to them because there's just so many things that can be done where it gets that green label. So stay tuned to the other videos. There's some really interesting cases where the green label actually turns out to be worth more than the blue label. And I'll get into those videos later. So stay tuned for those. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.